Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a familiar face. Introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Nick.
And Nick's back on the channel. Nick, what'd you play today, bro?
Something a little different today, Marincess.
Gotcha. And what'd you do with it?
I went X-1.
Perfect. Before we get started, deck profile, any shout outs or anything you want to say, bro?
Shout out to my girlfriend. I love her. She's doing awesome. Shout out to all the guys here. They're all wonderful people.
Some of them.
Except Travis, man. Stop running from me, dog. Stop running. Is we playing GOAT or we not playing GOAT?
Anyway, what else, man?
And shout out to your channel, because you make good content.
Appreciate you. Let's get straight into the deck profile then, bro.
Yep. Alright, so I'll go straight into the Marincess monsters first.
Oh, question. How long have you been playing the deck?
I've been playing the deck for a couple months now. I started off playing it on Master Duel, and I really enjoyed it. That was really fun. And then I played it the first time in person, which is a little bit different. The build's a little different than Master Duel at the Baton Rouge Regional. Made top 32, and ever since then I was like, yep, this is my deck. So.
I got you. Wow. Let's get straight into it again. My fault.
Ah, you're good. Alright, so this is the monsters are pretty staples. I run 3 Blue Tang. She is the best girl. If you don't know what she does, quick synopsis: she can, when normal or special summoned, she can dump another Marincess monster from deck to grave. Can be any of them. Just puts out even more just gas. When she's linked off, she can activate top 3, and if I see a Marincess monster, I can add it to hand. Or a Marincess card I can add to hand.
I get it.
I don't care if I don't see it, but if I see it, we just plus it, honestly. We're just plussing. Some people have this at 2, but I have it at 3. I think she's absolutely broken. This is Pasculus. When she's normal or special summoned, I can special summon another Marincess monster from my hand. She has a secondary effect. When she's in graveyard, she can banish herself and add a Marincess spell or trap. That secondary effect comes up very often. I've had multiple times where I can just go add back Marincess Wave, and that's like your imperm for the deck. Perfect. Alright. The next 3 of is going to be Spring Girl. She is the second best Marincess monster. She is your card extender. She can banish a Marincess monster from your graveyard and then special summon herself from hand. When she's linked off, she can mill the top cards of your deck X to however many Marincess monsters you have on board. Generally it's 1 or 2, and if you see one, you burn your opponent for 200. A big reason why I picked up this deck was because of her and her burn ability. When you go into time, and sometimes you just need to go for it and just pray. I can't tell you how many times like it's won me games just because of the burn. Did not come up today, but it has. Next, I run 3 Seahorse. She's one of the regular ones, honestly. She's nothing too crazy, but she is a combo extender. You can special summon herself from hand to a link zone you own, or that points to it. And then she has a secondary effect. When she's in graveyard, you can banish herself and special summon a Marincess monster from your hand, and you're locked into water monsters. That second effect doesn't come up too often, but it's still pretty good. Next are the 1-ups. I run 1 Marincess Mandarin and 1 Sleeping Maiden. Mandarin, if you have 2 or more Marincess monsters on field, you can special summon herself to a link zone. And then her Sleeping Maiden, she can target 1 Marincess card on field, special summon herself. That, if it's a monster, that monster cannot be destroyed as long as Sleeping Maiden is on board. Her second effect is she can banish herself and equip an extra Marincess monster as a equip material to one of your Marincess Link monsters.
Makes sense.
Next, I'll go into the Marincess spells and traps. I run 1 Battle Ocean. This is the field spell for the deck. This is what gives you a whole bunch of your gas, as well as combo protection. Because whenever you link summon into a Marincess monster into the extra monster zone, you can equip up to 3 different Marincess names from your graveyard to it, and that is not once per turn. For that monster that has those equips gets plus 600 for each, and a continuous plus 200 to all your Marincess monsters. Next I run 2 Marincess Dive. She has 2 effects. Her first effect is if I don't have Battle Ocean, I can special summon a Marincess monster from my graveyard. And her second effect is if I do have Battle Ocean on the field, she can special summon one Marincess monster from my deck. So combo is section slash starter, just depending on your hand.
How come you only play 2?
2, you don't want to see it too much, and you have a link monster that searches it.
Okay, makes sense.
Next, this is a controversial. I run 2 Marincess Wave. So most people are kind of flipping down between 1 or 2. Some people run 3, they're kind of crazy. I have, for the longest time, been running 1, but I decided just recently to bump it up to 2, because I'm running 2 Pot of Desires, and you don't want to get rid of it, because this is an imperm. If you are a Link 1, it's just a regular imperm. If you're on a Link 2, all your monsters are unaffected until end of turn, and if you're on a Link 3 Marincess monster or higher, you can activate it from your hand. And it's also not once per turn, so you can do it twice. It's crazy, literally crazy.
Yeah, no, I hate that.
probably the one of the best cards in the game.
Yeah, man, Wave is broken.
All right. Next, I'll run into the hand traps. 3 Ash, pretty simple. Just good right now. You can't go wrong with it. It stops branded fusion. You don't see as many branded players. You do see a lot of Chimera, but it does help with stopping them if they run the branded fusion, as well as the one of the Chimeras that searches it.
Yeah, that's
Chimera
like
fusion.
the 2 cards. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I hate that one.
So it stops it. Next, I'm running 2 Haunted Mansion. She is something I'm kind of testing out right now. I kind of like her, can't lie.
That smells nice.
She stops currently Labyrinth. Some things she can stop in Cash. And she is also pretty decent against Chimera as well.
Yeah.
You can stop them from adding back the Chimera fusion.
It smells nice.
Alright, next is One Nip. I'm only running 1, and you'll see it in the next set, right, real quick. But, you know, obviously Nib is just a really good card right now. Sometimes it pops off, sometimes it doesn't. But the reason why I run 1 of it is because I run 3 Crossout.
I knew it.
This deck does not like Nib whatsoever. It hates it with a passion. So, I run the Crossout, 1, because of the Nib, and 2, because the engine is not terribly big. You can run more hand traps. I'm currently not running as many, but this does come up. I think it's an absolutely busted card right now. A lot of people are playing it.
Everyone.
Alright, I'll go into the rest of the spells. I run 2 talents. It's just a good card. If your opponents ash you, draw 2, or get rid of something in their hand.
Or even like, let's say for example, you set the cross out, and like, let's say you have a hand trap or something for them, they had talents, and just cross out the talents.
Yep.
It pops up sometime.
Yeah, it does. 2 Pot of Desires, kind of what I mentioned before. This is your, to get more gas, or if you don't see anything, you pray you see it.
Yeah.
I lost this tournament to Pearly, and game 1 was pretty back and forth. He nipped me game 1 when I went first, which was really saddening, and then he just no-warred me twice, and I couldn't go.
Yeah.
And then second game, I had no engine, and I had the Pot of Desires. I prayed he didn't have Ash, and he ashed me.
Of course, man. Never have cross out when he has that.
Yeah.
It's not yours to win, but it's okay.
Alright, next I run 3 Book of Moon. Haven't figured out why. Obviously, it's a really good card right now, so that's a big reason why I'm playing it. Obviously, it stops the Kashtira, stops Pearly, stops a good number of things. My issue with it, it's definitely not as effective in Link decks, because you can't use your face-down monster for Link material, so you can't really protect your own things, but you don't really have to. You have enough gas with most of your deck to just keep going, especially if I go into my turn 2. If they make me go first, I have even more gas. Like, they can't stop me. So it's generally protection, or just to stop them going if they go first.
Makes sense.
Lastly, the Callbind. You are a Cybers deck. You don't want to see Shifter. You don't want to see any of that. So the 1 Callbind. I'll go into the traps. 3 Imperm, this is your other hand trap. It's just a good card, can't go wrong with it. And then lastly, something that I was testing today is 3 Gozen. Not a huge fan of having it in the main deck, so it'll probably go back to side. But with a lot of people a lot of people have been citing the drolls as of late now. A lot of decks are starting to not necessarily can actually out it pretty well. Inferno is a really good one that like it doesn't care if it goes droll. But there are still some decks that I saw today that I kind of wish I saw the droll instead of the goes in. But I also equally was able to stop my opponent because I goes in them and it couldn't do anything.
Was that 40 cards?
That is 42.
42. Okay, perfect. With the desires, huh?
Yes. Alright, I'll go into the links. So the next set of links, we have 2 of the Sea Angel. So this is the link 1 that it searches a Marincess spell. This is the one that searches that Marincess dive I was talking about earlier. She can search Battle Ocean. Just a really good card. Can't go wrong with her. Next is Blue Slug. When she is link summoned, you can target one of your Marincess monsters and add it to hand. That can be any of them, so you can reshuffle back some of your links back into the deck, or you can just get gas back into your hand. Either way, it's just a really good card. Next one, I run 2 Coral Anemone. That is not her. Wherever she went. That is also not her. There's 2 Coral Anemones. She's somewhere in here. She can target one Marincess monster, or she can target one water monster with 1,500 or less attack points in your graveyard and special summon it. Whenever she leaves the field and sent to graveyard, she can add a Marincess card from graveyard and add it to hand. That is any of them. That could be Dive, that can be Wave, that can be Battle Ocean, that could be Gas, that could be any of the Link monsters. She is just really good with her.
And that's why you run 2.
This is why you run 2. Alright, and we'll finish up the Link 2s. I won 1 area. She did not necessarily come up too much today. She did come up in the mirror match. I did see another Marincess player, and that was just great. That was fantastic. Most of the time though, she's used, if I have extra gas and my opponent nibs me, I can still keep going.
Yeah.
That's what she's mainly used for.
Makes sense.
Next one, Splash Mage. This is a Cyber deck. He's a water. Just extra extension, honestly. And then go ahead. Last link 2 is 1 Crystal Heart. This I have mixed feelings about. There was a time where I didn't run this card. However, essentially what this does is when you have Battle Ocean on the field and you link into any monster, by the way, as long as it's in the extra monster zone, it is unaffected by card effects. So it immediately makes your link 4 into a towers. Wave also gives you the towers, but this gives you the immediate benefit. However, when Battle Ocean goes and leaves the board, you lose that effect.
Ah, okay.
So it's kind of but it's also just, you know, more combo. You can climb. Alright, next I'll go into link 3s. I run 2 of them. 1 Coral Triangle and 1 Marbled Rock. So, Coral Triangle, she has probably one of the best effects in the game. Honestly. Her first effect is she can discard 1 water monster from your hand, and you can add a Marincess trap, so you go ahead and add the wave. If you already have a wave, you have 2 waves. Her second effect, if you have no monsters and your opponent has a monster, you can banish her from your graveyard, and you can special summon a Link 1 and a Link 2, or 3 Link 1s, or just another Link 3 onto the field. So she's practically a soul charge. She's cracked. Actually cracked. Yeah. So if my opponent can't kill me and they break my board, I just go ahead and banish her and I just hide even more gas. You go ahead and normally you come out with Coral Anemone, the Link 2, and a Link 1. Link 1 doesn't really matter, but you get her out. It's really good. Alright, nextly I'll go into the Link 4s. I run 1 Great Bubble Reef. She is a big mama. Her effect, she has a standby effect. During each standby phase, I can banish 1 water monster from my graveyard, and I can attempt to draw. Every time a monster is banished, she gets plus 600, not once per turn, but you lose that power at the end of turn. And then her second effect is I can target one of my, I can essentially like pitch a water monster from my hand, and then special summon a Marincess monster from my banished zone.
Makes sense.
Sometimes that second effect comes up. It's pretty rare though. Next one is the other amazing lady, Argonaut. She is a spell trap negate by special summoning an equipped Marincess monster that is to her. That is once per turn, and her second effect is I can target one water monster on my side of the field and target one card my opponent owns, and then bounce them back to hand. That second effect doesn't come up too often. Sometimes it does, but you normally go into her turn 1 to get the spell trap negate.
Makes sense.
The last link 4 is Atlantis. He is your access code for the deck. There are a couple cards in this deck that can waterlock you, and there is a stupid combo with this card because it is the player that does it. Essentially what he does is he banishes all monsters on face up, all monsters on field, and special summons as many as possible. That special summoning is a player action.
Yeah.
So when you are waterlocked, so if you're essentially, a lot of these cards can Blue Slug, Coral Anemone, as well as Sea Horse, all have the ability that makes you locked into waters. Because you are waterlocked, you can only special summon water monsters. So if they're not playing a water deck, their stuff just stays banished.
Yeah, it's free.
It breaks their board. A lot of people don't expect it. It's really good. Some people run 2. I run 1 just because the extra deck's pretty tight.
Yeah.
His second effect is during battle phase, quick effect, you can destroy however many monsters up to his co-link. So if you're co-linked 1, you can pop 2 cards. It comes up when you go into battle phase. Generally, he's your finisher.
Yeah, those player effects are nice.
Yes, and then lastly, I run 1 Kraken. This came up multiple times today. He has 2 things going for him. 1, when he's on field, all monsters on the board become water monsters. So immediately, there's a lot of decks that they need to special summon using Fire Attribute or Earth Attribute or Dark or something, and they just can't play. I've had a lot of times where a branded player just can't play the game.
Yeah.
I've also had Infernobles struggle against the card just because they need fires.
Yeah.
And then I've also had, what was another one that kind of came up? I can't think of another one at the top of my head, but
Yeah.
his second effect is I can pop 1 water monster on the field, and then my opponent is burned half of the attack points of that monster. So since everything's water, their monsters become water, so I just pop something on their side of the field.
That's perfect, dude. Wanna go ahead and show the side deck?
Yep.
Let's check it out.
Nothing too crazy. I run 3 of this mother. 3 evenly matched. It's just a really good card right now. You can't go wrong with it. It practically just breaks your opponent's board. If they can't out it, then tough.
And you hate that card, huh? Yeah.
It can be a little annoying.
Yeah.
It can be a little annoying.
Sorry.
Next, I run 3 Gamma Seal. So another fun thing about Atlantis is you can Gamma Seal one of their monsters. So whether they have a Pearly monster or a Rise Heart or something, you can kaiju it, and then you can special summon it back because it is a water monster and you own it.
Yeah, guess what? That's only during the main phase, bitch.
Pretty fun, cannot lie.
That's only during the main phase.
Next, I run 2 extra nibs. Combo decks are still out there, so you can't really go wrong with the extra 2 nibs since I already run the 1.
Yeah.
3 draw. This is what might replace the Gozen match in the deck. It's just a really good card right now, and it literally stops some decks just from playing
Hell
the
yeah,
game.
right now especially.
Yeah. 3D barrier, same thing, just stops decks. I played against 2 Chimera decks today. I only saw it once today against the Chimera, but they literally just said game 2.
Yeah.
So,
It's a good reverse card, especially let's say for example they nib you have that set,
Yep.
you get back your turn. No, this all makes sense.
you might even be able to get something out of it.
Hell yeah, dude.
And the last one is Harpy Feather Set. Just back row destruction.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with it.
Look, dude, I appreciate you letting me do deck profile, and
course.
congratulations on coming back to the channel, playing something new. Well, something new for the channel per se, and finishing X-1 today, Wednesday box tournament, dude. Any last comments or anything?
Keep staying tuned. There are plenty of really good players here at the shop. I'm sure you will continue to see both new faces and returning faces on the channel. And Thank you.
Well, look, thanks again, Nick. Until next time, remember, guys, comment, like, subscribe, and also we're gonna go ahead and link his old deck profile in the description. So, guys, make sure to check that out. Rescue Ace.
Yep.
That's still around. So, until next time, catch you guys later.
Adios.